A rather interesting development that's triggered some anger in Kyiv today. Remarks from Elon Musk, owner of Tesla, owner of X, formerly Twitter and the like. What's he said and why are people upset?
This is an interesting story because a biography of Elon Musk is being released on Tuesday, and there's some of the excerpts have come from it. And one of the things that came out there was suggestions that he had turned off his Starlink system and therefore thwarted a Ukrainian drone attack on the Black Sea Fleet. Now, the date of this is not entirely clear from the clip, but it does sound as if it was from last year. Now, overnight, Elon Musk has come up on social media and said that actually the system wasn't activated in that region of the world at the time, so he couldn't have turned it off. But what he does remember is not agreeing to turn it on, which is, I know it sounds nuanced, but it is slightly different because his company, SpaceX, is not a military company and they don't want to be complicit in some sort of acts of war. What's also interesting, though, is the context here because Musk has also been apparently in regular contact with President Putin throughout the war, which obviously raises concerns. Now, it's worth noting that Starlink, which we're seeing some of the satellites launched here, is a communications and internet company. It operates around the world. It's very satellite intensive. Eventually, there'll be 42,000 of these satellites ringed around the world. But they provide internet comms, about 1.5 million subscribers. Why it's relevant for Ukraine is because they need GPS to guide their drones to their target. And for the Russian military, it's not difficult to jam those drones. If you use Starlink, it'll be a lot more difficult for those drones to be jammed, and it provides some secure comms as well.
SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has recently confirmed a report that's in Walter Isaacson's new biography of Musk that last year Musk blocked access to his Starlink satellite network in Crimea in order to disrupt a major Ukrainian attack on the Russian Navy there. In other words, Musk effectively sabotaged a military operation by Ukraine, a U.S. ally, against Russia, an aggressor country that invaded a U.S. ally. Should there be repercussions for that?
Jake, I can't speak to a specific episode. Here's what I can tell you. Starlink has been a vital tool for the Ukrainians to be able to communicate with each other, and particularly for the military to communicate in their effort to defend all of Ukraine's territory. It remains so, and I would expect it to continue to be critical to their efforts. So what we would hope and expect is that that technology will remain fully available to the Ukrainians. It is vital to what they're doing.
I don't know that you can't speak to it. You won't speak to it. Musk says he was reportedly afraid that Russia would retaliate with nuclear weapons. Musk says that's based on his private discussions he had with senior Russian officials. Are you concerned that Musk is apparently conducting his own diplomatic outreach to the Russian government? Really, none of this concerns you?
Jake, I can't speak to conversations that may or may not have happened. I don't know. I'm focused on the fact that the technology itself, Starlink, has been really important to the Ukrainians. It remains so. And it should continue to be part of what they're able to call on to be able to communicate with themselves and, again, to have the military be able to communicate. Throughout this Russian aggression, we ourselves have always had to factor in what Russia may do in response to any given thing that we or others do or the Ukrainians do, and we have. But what's so critical now is that Ukraine has had real success over the past year. I was just in Ukraine, as you know. The last time I was there was almost exactly a year ago. In that year, from the last time I was there till this week, the Ukrainians have retaken more than 50% of the territory seized by Russia since February of 2022. They're now engaged in a critical counteroffensive. And we're doing everything we can to maximize our support for them, along with many other countries, so that they can be successful. Starlink is an important part of their success, and as I said, we expect that it will continue to be so.
It sounds like Starlink's so important the U.S. government doesn't want to risk offending a capricious billionaire who did some things that I think in another situation the U.S. government might want to say something about. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has confirmed a report in Walter Isaacson's new biography of him that last year Musk personally blocked access to his Starlink satellite network in Crimea in order to disrupt a major Ukrainian attack on the Russian Navy in Crimea. Do you think what Musk did was appropriate? And are you okay with a private citizen having so much power over a war?
Well, first of all, I don't know enough of the details about that to comment, but what I would say is if there's any sort of smoke, we should have transparency. We should be able to find out exactly what happened, who did it, when they did it, and why they did it. And then we should be able to take the appropriate action. The bottom line is we should always watch out for the national security of Americans and our allies. And if there was anything that came in the way of that, then we should address it. And if there's something there, then we should ask questions about it. But I think we need to look into it further.